tell you something, Bill? Most of what you say is not smart. It's just sort of obscure.
It's not obscure to a certain percentage of people.
I'm
not some giant egghead. I'm just
I know you're not that smart.
I know. I'm not saying I am. Which says something about all these things I say that you don't know what I'm talking about.
So what?
I know.
There's subjects I could bring up. It's just, you're just into, musical.
You're in love with your daughter, hearing you talk about her on the podcast.
Jesus Christ. Well, you're pretty perceptive. You think you care about your own child.
Remember that on Mary Tyler Moore show? She'd have a rough day and she'd come in. And
I don't remember the whole show.
I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
If I can explain it to you.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. All right.
No, I believe it.
I don't know. And the second I started to explain, I don't know the whole show. All right, fine, I get it.
I believe
That's that comic ADD. I don't want to. I'm not into it. I don't want to hear it. I got it. Your show. Go ahead. Continue.
I remember. All right, let's talk about old shows then.
We don't have to. It was so funny how you bailed twice on
Made
that.
headlines in October 2000 and 2000 after controversial monologue. Man,
2000 and 2000, Mike. That's 2020.
Nigga, listen,
Those
man.
Brownsville schools, man.
Your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and I
two
wanted to
episodes.
talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far.
We did maybe 2 jokes about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
they just sort of kept moving them around. Like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
all right, I'm not totally following.
That might be the difference in our generations, which is not that. I mean, we're maybe like 13 years apart.
You're one of my elders, man. I respect you for that.
I feel like I'm in the Reagan-Mondale debate.
No, I just
Now
remember when you
to,
did my podcast, you kept getting I'm not that much older than you.
And I'm not. And
Dude, 13 years is a long time.
I think the point I made then, and I'll remake it for you, is that to anyone young, who is what we care about in this in this discussion, because it's like, well, we don't want to lose that audience. Trust me, when you're 25, you and I are the same. We are the younger audience.
No, if you and I are just hanging out, talking, but if we go back far enough.
You're a dad.
If we go back
that adds 10 years. That definitely closes that gap. Anyway, the point being...
I don't like how you just made that point and then said anyway really quickly before I could refute it. Anyway. Did you learn that in debating class?
I did.
Because you said anyway, I'm going to roll with that? No.
Well, I mean...
In my generation.
Your
I'm
generation.
12 years older than you.
You're a boomer, man. You're talking about the Beatles. You're
54.
your feathers
Okay, so you're 12
fluffed
years.
about what's her face.
Okay. By the way,
White Album is so much better than Taylor Swift.
By the way, to anyone under 30, we're the same.
My point, the 25-year-old is watching this going, look at these two old guys. They're not going, oh, the guy with the cigar is obviously 13 years younger.
I know, but you have to go all the way down to 25 to appear my age.
Well... I don't.
You can see. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. You can just see the way we dress.
No, I look good. That's the difference. Is that you were
do
wearing?
Look good.
You're wearing
You're not gonna
sneakers.
throw that in my face.
You got a t-shirt on. You
look like a defendant. You look like you're trying to beat a drinking and driving charge. He doesn't have any priors, Your Honor. Look at him. He's wearing his Chelsea boots. He's a. What do they call it? A productive member of society.
What is your regimen? I'm very curious, like your health regimen. How much do you care about what you eat? Or you?
No, I do. I don't with desserts. I don't eat bread, and I've laid off sugar and stuff. I had a little bit of a relapse, but when you get to be my age, you're not going to go to the gym and burn it off. What's going to happen is your joints are going to wear out before the donut does. So just stop eating the donut. So I just try to maintain.
No, that's exactly.
And I keep my shirt on. I'm not one of these testosterone HGH guys. What do you think the price of that's going to be? Because you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't get your frat boy yoked body back.
At a certain age, you can look good in clothes.
Yes.
Okay? And you just have to accept that. And luckily, women accept that. Most women. It's very, very rare.
Women are very forgiving. I also think they like if you're a little bit out of shape because it gives them some leeway.
Well, you keep telling yourself that. They don't like that. But
I'm not telling myself that. I'm telling you that.
Okay. I just don't think that's true. But
that's how you say it.
Oh, and we have a wonderful guest who already came in hot. The real hot take about the city of Boston. Oh, the white people, because then they get to act like they're not racist and there's no issues in name Maybury. Live from the Andy Griffith Show, but we got Dan fucking Liebetard. Go ahead, Dan. You lit the fuse, and now you're going to play the victim like some chick on a Real Housewife show. All right, go ahead, do that. Press charges. Shout out to the Real Housewives of Potomac.
It's gauche. But yeah.
You go again with the big words. What does gauche mean? I've heard the word.
It means great in French.
Gauche? No, it doesn't.
No.
Magnifique.
Do you remember when you were on Real
Say
Talk?
magnifique, monsieur. That's
You're in the highlight reel.
Super. I'm on the same page with you.
I know.
Young people. You're
No.
Zeppelin. I know that happens a lot. That's
know.
in vogue for young kids to say the Beatles stink.
I can always talk Beatles, and one reason they are prima inter pares among rock gods is that they.
I've never heard all of those words. Was that 3 words? Was that 2 words?
That's Latin for first among equals.
Don't you save that for your parties when you're wearing your smoking jacket? I'll tell you, that Bill Maher is really smart. He is really well read. He just said prima paravardis.
Prima inter pares.
Inter pares.
You know what? I'm not the bad guy because I know more. Okay, can we just get
That's
that?
right. Don't
Can we
make me-
just
don't make me-
chyron that?
exactly.
I'm not the bad guy because I know things. I apologize.
You should say, I'm sorry, I'm not stupid, Bill.
Point-
That's what you should have said.
Oh, downtown, the Disney Center?
Yeah, the one that looks all weird.
Yeah, the one
the
from
artsy.
Frank Gehry.
Frank
Yes,
Gehry?
he's an architect.
He's an architect. I knew he's an architect. Oh, that's a big thing in your world, knowing architects' names.
I wasn't trying to brag.
That's an L. Ron Hubbard.
No, it's just
First of all, I don't think you could change the oil in a car, so don't talk about architecture
I
like
can't, and I wouldn't want to.
oh, let me adjust my glasses.
Why would I want?
I don't want
Why
to.
would I want to, Eliza?
You
Stop
solved
attacking
it.
Israel.
You just
I did.
solved it.
I actually
There
did.
you go. That's fantastic.
Anyway,
All right.
we don't need to get onto
go
that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that. Well, let me ask you a question. How is war still legal? With all this shit that's been canceled.
Legal.
Why is that still legal?
Would you like a real answer to that? Because for something to be illegal, you have to have the capacity to enforce it.
Sit down and talk it out. Why can't Putin do a podcast with the head guy? Like, you just solved the Middle East on a podcast. Why can't they solve what they're doing on a podcast?
This is why this is not your thing.
Make some hard-nosed decisions.
This is my
It's not your thing. It's what you.
It is my
It
thing.
isn't your
This
thing.
is not
It
your
isn't.
thing.
You're like that guy
Plain
that
the-
has a fantasy football team and thinks he's a GM.
No.
That's exactly what it is. Like, why am I fucking listening to you like you've done something? What have you done in Washington? Nothing.
No, I would never go to Washington.
It's beneath you.
Boston comics just seem more truculent and pugilistic than most to me.
I knew what that meant. I would agree or disagree with it.
I normally would not have used those words.
Did
but
you ever play Nick's
now
Comedy
you're-
Stop? I bet you had some rough sets in that one.
I had a rough night in Boston once where
Oh, yeah. I can
I
see
was the
that.
headliner.
I could see you not having a good time in Boston. I could see them going.
That was a long time ago.
Dude, you have. This is a hacky reference, but you totally have the energy of you forgot to give out the homework assignment, Mrs. So-and-so.